Hey everyone, I hope you've all been having a good week. For this speech, I want to talk about a lesson that I learned from a really good old friend of mine. It was a long time ago, but he pretty much kind of showed me how to be a man when I was way younger, and I didn't have a job or anything like that. But I'll just start with when it happened. It was the summer of my when I was 14, so it was about 8 years ago. And I was just hanging out with my buddy. I was basically living over there over the summer. His dad got a new place that was closer to my house, so I'd spend a lot of time with him. We were really good friends. And there was an older guy that was friends with my buddy's dad, and I got to meet him for the first time, and he was like one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. He was always smiling, and he did a lot of work for my buddy's dad. So his name was Jake, and while I was there, I would watch him start like noon or earlier and just work landscape, weed whack, weed, load things, clean the yard, mow, just common landscaping. But he would do it for like 14, 15 hours at a time. Like he was a hard worker, and I'd never had a job before then, so that was kind of like my first real, other than like cleaning out gutters and mowing your own lawn and stuff like that. That was like the most work that someone actually talked to me about it and told me. So like I was homeschooled and had just gone into public school for a couple of years. So I was pretty awkward and I was pretty shy, but this guy like he had it all for him, dude. He was working, he was making money, he had his own place, he had friends, everybody liked him. He was basically like what I wanted to be. Like he was a hero figure of mine as a kid, like being young you just want to grow up and then you get there and everyone tells you it'll be the best years of your life, you never believe them. But when I looked at him, that's what I wanted to be like. And so I got to know him a lot better over that summer, and I ended up talking to him about why he was making so much money. And uh, it turns out he was planning to move and live down with his girlfriend who had moved away for a while. And he talked about her all the time. But like during that time, we hung out and went to the lake. He was always active, always doing something, always working. And he taught me a little bit about presentation and how important it is when you just meet someone, like what message you give them by what you say, how you carry yourself. And I was very lacking in social experience, so I almost like memorized those notes and carried them with me. Uh, then it was towards the end of the summer. He made enough money to make it down to his girlfriend, and I was really happy for him. I was sad to see him go because he ended up being like a pretty good role in my life, like a role model. Yeah, I guess that's what he was. And so I was happy that he got to go see his girlfriend, and he even mentioned that he was planning on marrying her. So I think he saved up to go down and propose, and I was just stoked for him. It seemed like life could only be good for that guy. So I was hoping that I would see him eventually, but I didn't know when that would be again. And it ended up being a lot sooner than I expected. It was a couple years later I got my license, and I just started working my own job. I was running to the store, just a gas station. It was around midnight. I was with a couple buddies, and I got out and I looked over, and I saw Jake, and he was with a girl and carrying a skateboard, but he didn't look like I remembered him at all. He was real pale, and he had scabs all over his face. He was kind of twitchy, shaky, sniffing like that a lot, and I looked at him and he wasn't smiling. It was like the only time that I'd seen him not smiling, really. He just didn't seem the same at all. And just from what I've seen around here, I asked him if he's been spending a lot of time with Crystal, and he kind of like twitched and asked, "Wait, who's Crystal? I don't know if I know Crystal." It's like, looks like you've been spending time with Crystal Meth, man. And he said, "Oh yeah, she's put a real doozy on my life." And I said, "Why, man? You look pretty bad. Like, what happened? When you're going to like move down with your girl and get married and stuff." And then he told me he made it there. He made it there safe. He was staying with her for a while. It was like 2 or 3 weeks, and she acted like everything was fine. Apparently, till one of her friends that he had met was another guy that lived down there with her. Took him aside and said, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. I got to tell you though, I've been sleeping with your woman." And he, I think, told me how betrayed he felt that she wasn't even the one to talk to him, and he had to like play like everything was good until her friend was the one who actually that he didn't even know was the one who came up and told him that. So apparently that was just too much for him. He was broken. He came back, and it made me really, really sad to see him like that. So I had enough going on in my life at that point. I was in high school now. I was driving. I had a job. So I just said my farewell and hope that he got better, I guess, or life treated him better, I suppose. And didn't know if I would see him again until one day I was reading the paper and I saw that a man had pulled out a firearm in a bar with some conflict, just a bar fight, and he ended up pulling out a gun and getting arrested. And then I read the name of it, and it was Jake. And so I didn't think that I was ever going to see him again. Apparently, he was on probation beforehand, probably due to the drug use, and it was sad to see someone that was so important that I looked up to so much become like close to the opposite of what I wanted to be. But anyways, I kept continuing on with life, worked up in my job, got a new job, finished high school, kind of lived on my own for a little while, and then I decided that I needed to go back and get some more schooling done, get a good income, and so started going back to college, and it was, I want to say, like 2 quarters in. I think it was a couple quarters. I was walking through the courtyard right by the pub. It's at Peninsula College. Yeah. If you guys haven't been there, because I know some of you like live far away and are taking this online class, it's as you walk through, pretty much right next to the student center. There's a little place where you can like get food and drinks and activities happen. And there's a little theater in there. But I was walking by there to my class, and I looked over and I saw I saw a face that I recognized. I actually recognized Justin. A big smile on, had color in his face, and I was just stoked. I had to like take a second glance. It's like no way. And so I looked at him and then caught his eye, and he looked over at me and was equally surprised to see me. And I just got to shoot the breeze with him for a second. I asked him how he was doing. Said he looked a lot better, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, had some rough times in life, but got back on my feet." And went to school. He was going to the mechanics program, so he was trying to make a decent way of living, I guess. I don't know, or just another hobby perhaps, but it was better than what he was doing. And so he's back to working, just like I remembered him. And so every once in a while, I still get to see him around. But yeah, he taught me a lot of things. I mean, he taught me how to present myself, how important it is when you meet somebody, how to talk to people. Give me the gift of confidence, which I'd never really had. And then he taught me how to be a man, I guess. I don't know. And then what not to do at a certain point. And once he got past that, I think the last lesson that he taught me was that everyone has hard times, but you just got to push through, and all will pass. Just hopefully, if you're down on a tough time, it doesn't take you too long to get back up, but you'll always make it through if you just persevere. I'll still always look up to Jake.